Well, hello there. Hey, listen, I actually just finished my Facebook Live and I realized that I had it on only me. So I've been talking for about 10-15 minutes and just realized nobody's hearing me. So I wanted to come back again and talk with you about why homeschool. Listen, Mom, if you're listening to this broadcast and you're thinking about homeschooling, let me give you some reasons why. Why homeschool? Because your child is not reaching their potential. You know that they are capable of much more. What you see coming home, just the lack of interest, the just lackluster attitude about learning. You know, they used to have a sparkle in their eye when it came to learning, but something changed. Something changed along the way, and you know it. That's a reason to homeschool. Another reason why is because you know that your student is not, you guys are not connected. Have you ever had your child come home and you say, well, did you have homework? And they're, oh no, everything is fine. And then down the road, you find out they had assignments that were missed, that there were things that you didn't know that you should have, and that you text the teacher or you email them, and God bless teachers because they have so much to do. But you were not able to connect with that teacher for whatever reason, and your child didn't get what they needed. And so there's this like continual disconnect. It's like you keep trying to catch up to what you need to help them, but you can't do it. Or they don't bring the book home, so you don't have a way to even have a reference for how to help them with their homework. Why homeschool? Because your child is struggling in that classroom with 25 or 30 or 40 students in it. And they are unfocused. There's so much going on in the classroom. For your child, it just is not working. Now, for some children, it's okay. But listen, you're responsible for your child. And that it's not working. There's too much going on. So you have to figure out, what do I need to do differently for my child? You cannot wait for someone else to make the change. That is why you might need to homeschool. Another reason why you might need to homeschool is because your child needs a more hands-on, individualized environment. Because they might need more time to process through their work. Because they might need to do a field trip that's connected to the content that they're learning, or they may need to draw something, or it may be a project that they're working on. Everything's not workbooks and worksheets and those kinds of things. Your child may need those things, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because everybody learns differently. Some people are more visual. Some people need more hands-on kinds of things. So it just depends on what your child needs. And if the school cannot give it to them, we're not going to spend our energy bashing the school, because what does that do? Nothing. We're going to spend our energy figuring out strategies and resources that will help your child. And the best way to get right to it is homeschool. Another reason why you might need to homeschool your child is because it will give you insight into where they really are. I have run into students who are in high school who still have not memorized their multiplication facts, who do not know basic components of grammar. And the parent had no idea. Some of these students are in math class, and because the teacher has so many students to keep track of, some teachers have maybe 100 students every day. They'll check the work, they'll give them a check for turning in their work, but they may not have time always to check it. And so your child gets a grade based on the fact that they turned the work in, but they may not know the work. I have seen students who have gotten A's and B's in Algebra 1, excuse me. And when it was time for them to do Algebra 2, we found out they couldn't do basic math and had to go back to the basic math because something happened in that Algebra 1 class. It could have been they had substitutes. You know, that happens sometimes. There are things that are going on at school that you might not be aware of. And when you homeschool your child, you find out exactly where they are in every area. Why homeschool? Because some of your children will not reach their full potential until you get them in a place where they can focus in on their academics. Do you know that for some children, school is too social? There is so much going on in some schools that a child cannot focus in. There are some children, there's just too much going on. There's nothing wrong with them. It's the way they process. And they need some place that is quiet, where they can focus in, where there's not stuff going on 24/7, where they feel safe. Do you know why some of you need to homeschool? Because your children don't feel safe. Because they're being bullied. And you don't even know it, because there's this code at the school called snitching that will shut down a student and make them afraid to tell someone what is really going on. Have you noticed maybe the sparkle in their eye is gone? Maybe they come home and they're very quiet and solemn and to themselves. They might be being bullied and can't tell you. Are you dropping in on the school to see what's really going on? If you are, and you see that your child is struggling, you need to pull them out while you can. Thank you for the likes. It's not a game. This is very serious. And there are children who are quietly and silently suffering. They're waiting for somebody to look them in the eye and say and recognize they need rescue. They need help. But as parents, sometimes we're so afraid. We're afraid that we're going to fail. Sometimes anything is better than what's going on for them right now. Sometimes you have to trust God enough to know that He is going to give you what you need. I am here as an advocate today, pleading on your child's behalf, because there are some children that are praying that you don't put them back in that school again in the fall. Some of them have actually asked you to homeschool them, but you are afraid because you don't know what to do. Listen to them. It's a cry for help. And you have the opportunity to do something about it. You don't have to know anything to do it. You just have to be willing to learn. And now over the summer is a great time to begin to learn about what your child needs. Do not let them cry out for help. Do not let them ask you to homeschool them and you say no, because you don't know what it's like to be in that school, in that class with 30 kids, in that class where they're being subtly bullied, in that class where they don't feel safe. Do you know when a child does not feel safe, they cannot learn? If a child is not safe, they cannot process. So you're wondering why they can't get the work done? Why they keep getting D's and E's on the work? Hello, Jennifer. Good to see you. Thank you. You're wondering why they're struggling? Maybe they don't feel safe. Maybe they don't trust their teacher or the kids that are sitting around them to be willing to even ask a question when they don't understand. Why homeschool? Because you might be saving your child's life. I've seen it over and over again. If God is tugging at your heart. He has placed people like me in this world to let you know that you can do this, guys, that you have the tools at your hand in your access to help your child. Please do not let them go back in the fall to a place that they have been hurt, to a place where they have been taken advantage of, to a place where they have been bullied, to a place where they have been not understood, to a place where they have been not valued, to a place where they don't believe that they're special. And that's what my book is about. That's why I call it Star Finder. Because the truth is, every child is a star. Every child has potential. Every child has been put here for a specific, special purpose. And academics might not be their strength, but they need it to get where God has for them to go. And they need somebody, an advocate, a champion, to say, whatever it takes, I'm willing to do that. If I have to get a different kind of job, if I have to change my hours at work. Do you know people who work homeschool? People don't know that. There are ways to do it. You can hire tutors. You can put your child in programs that have group classes and co-ops that will help you with those harder classes, that will come alongside you and teach you how to do it with your family's specific situation. Your child needs you. Guys, July and August, time, if you have not thought about homeschool, or if you have, now's the time to research. Now's the time to get the answers. Now's the time to call me, inbox me, and talk with me. And I will talk with you individually about what needs to happen. But you can do this. Let me tell you this last thing. We homeschooled all three of our children, my husband and I, for about 25 years. I thought it was a sacrifice when I began. But in the end, I realized it was a privilege. Those three children are now grown. Our oldest daughter is a Foreign Service officer with the State Department and has traveled all over the world. She has received, hey Lauren, can you come close this door for me, please? She has received a bachelor's degree and a master's degree from American University. One was scholarship, the bachelor's, and the other was fellowship, where other people paid for her education, straight out of homeschool. Her statistics teacher sent me a note home saying, "Good job, Mom," because he just knew she was going to fail. I didn't teach her those higher level of math. I got a tutor that helped her with those things. Our middle child struggled with her reading, and her story is in my book, Starfinder. 6th grade, she still wasn't reading well. But God showed us the strategies to help her. Homeschooling. She is a middle school science and math teacher who loves to read and is incredible as a teacher because she struggled with academics, with learning. It helps her to be able to connect with students in a way that many others cannot. And our son, who got married 2 years ago, he is a self-taught computer programmer and photographer. It's well sought after, doing amazing things. All of them homeschooled. Even those 3 homeschooled children in my family, different paths, different needs, different strategies. So I've learned a lot over the years of helping my children and helping other children. But I'm here to say to you, if you want to homeschool, help and hope are here. I am Anita Gibson. I am a coach, speaker, educational strategists. And I implore you, if your child is asking you to homeschool them, step up to the plate. God will help you, and so will I. All right, love you guys. Good night.